Hi folks, this is all the fruit. I'm in Heidelberg, Germany, in the beautiful fruit cultivation area of the Bergstraße, an amazing area. This is also where my fruit orchards are located. Well, this area, a German Kaiser once said about it, this is where Germany starts becoming Italy. And yeah, today I was walking a little path which I haven't walked for years and hoped that I was finding some interesting fruit. And look at this old plum tree. I think I struck gold. Some plum variety I'm not familiar with. I thought I knew most of the plum varieties, at least around my farm, but no. This is something, I don't know if I've ever eaten it, but I definitely don't remember ever eating it. It's an old plum tree. Well, this thing here is a cherry plum, or rather, no, not a cherry plum. Well, this thing in the foreground is something different. This is one of those big spineless blackthorns, which are some hybrid between plum and blackthorn. And it doesn't seem to have, no, it has nothing to do with the actual tree. The actual tree, actually there are at least two, maybe three stems here. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. And here some more. 4, 5, 6, 7. Very interesting. 7 stems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strong stems within 3 meters. And one of them growing so close to the stairs. I was sure that this is an old planted fruit tree and thought that this is some old local variety. Here we have the leaves of one of the young shoots, but no, this is actually some feral, well, probably suckers, feral suckers. I don't know if they are suckers from some rootstock or suckers from some seedling. Oh, the stuff just got even more interesting than it was. Because here from the path, when you look up there, it looks like this is just an old plum tree. However, what you see here are actually 2 of the stems with their branches, and there are 5 other thick stems cut off here. And here, a couple meters further, found another tree. Actually, no, yeah. This is just 2 stems. Well, I don't know if they are connected at the ground, but they have the same type of fruit. Very interesting. So even the old thing here is actually a cluster of feral suckers. Very interesting. And usually those feral fruit are inferior to the official named varieties. But in this case, this stuff is not bad. Not completely ripe. So, see, I need a little bit of force to rip them off. Let's take a couple. Well, first let's look at the leaves. Quite typical plum leaves. Well, not so typical for most plum cultivars. Actually, this looks like some hybrid plum, feral hybrid plum seedling. When we look at the fruit, they look a bit like Mirabelle plums. They are covered with this whitish induments. When you, oh no, I picked too many. When you rub it off, the color becomes stronger. They are the size of large cherries or of Mirabelle plums. They are multicolored. That's also typical for Mirabelle plums. But they don't have any flavor. No. Sweet, with some sourness and some tartness. So, yeah, as I said, they are not completely ripe. I had to rip them off the tree, but they're already perfectly ripe to be eaten. And I guess when they get really ripe, they will get even more sweet. They will lose the sourness and tartness, and maybe even develop some flavor. But they're already quite sweet. Yeah, they have this tartness, this exact tartness of Blackthorn, which you find in some blue plums while they are still not completely ripe. So when we assume that this is some hybrid, could be a hybrid between what? That's very hard to say. Let's look around. I mean, plums are pollinated by bees or other insects, so everything in a couple dozen or couple hundred meters radius could be a potential parent. Here we have some quite large Blackthorn, for example. I don't see a single fruit, but the plants almost thornless, and the few thorns they have, they are not, they are quite thin. Blackthorn, but probably in reality is a Blackthorn plum hybrid. Up there, some big Blackthorn fruit, yeah. So this is a potential parent. Down there, I saw more of those Blackthorn things. There is even something 5 or 6 meters tall growing out of those Blackthorns. Here are other single Blackthorn stems about 4 meters tall. Quite interesting. So the Blackthorn is definitely a possible parent, since all domestic plums, look at those Blackthorns, 5-6 meters tall, since all domestic plums are Blackthorn cherry plum hybrids, at least all the western varieties, they can hybridize again with the parent, with the Blackthorn. I've never seen confirmed hybrids with a cherry plum around here. So yeah, Blackthorn is definitely one possible parent, because it's quite common along this little field road or trail. Down there I see some plum, probably a blue plum. However, there must be dozens of other plum trees here in a convenient distance for a bee or another insect. Good fruit, folks. If there is no plum variety of this type, this stuff would really be worth saving. I mean, I'm very picky when it comes to fruit, especially to plums. And this stuff is definitely not fully ripe, but it's already very tasty. Sure, it will even be even more tasty when fully ripe. So yeah, I would say some sort of hybrid. You could guess. One of the parents could be the Mirabelle, one could be the Blackthorn, one could be the blue plum, or any of the other varieties here. Quite interesting. It's forming quite large trees. It seems that, well, not sure if this is a sucker or a seedling. If it's a seedling, it seems to be quite true to seed, because I tried fruit from this plant here and they taste pretty much the same. If it's a sucker, that means that if you have one, you can get 100 trees for free. Very interesting. I'll try to research it. I'm sure I'll come up with some plum variety which is similar. But I still think that this is just a freak hybrid between, yeah, whatever, some Blackthorn plum stuff. Very interesting. So folks, this was some interesting freak plum hybrid here in Heidelberg. A plum hybrid I would really like to see on the market. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful city of Heidelberg. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.